මගේ මේ ක්ලාස් එක සම්පූර්ණයෙන් ගලවගෙන යන නිසා මේක සෙටප් කරගන්න හරි අමාරුයි. මුලින් ඉඳලා ඔක්කොම ආය හදන්න ඕන. මේ අර දවස ගානේ මුකුත් කරලා දැන් ක්ලාසස් ගෙදර මුකුත් නැහැනේ. හරි. හරි. ඕකේ. Chapter 10, right? Take your books with you. අද ෆ්‍රයිඩේ නේ? හරි. Chapter 10. Chapter 10. So, here, yesterday, when Jagan came back from that temple, he had a sudden meeting with his son. So he was not expecting his interference, but Mali planned it, right? Mali was waiting to get the confirmation from his father. As I yesterday mentioned, he is not making a request. He has already taken the decision. Father should support my business. So he's asking whether it is going to be happen or not, right? He needs the confirmation, not the acceptance, right? Expecting somebody's permission is different, and waiting for the yes or no, the confirmation is totally different. Confirmation means you think they are bounded to provide you such facilities, right? What they are given, it is not they are doing it willingly, but it is their responsibility. They are bound to do that. That's why you need the confirmation. But the permission, you know that this is, I don't know whether I can ask like this or not, but I make a request and see whether you will give me the permission. So I gave you 100% comfortability to take your own decisions, but he is not. They are having, in that place, father is asking about the grace. So he very carelessly mentioned one thing. What? Grace is not at home. She has gone out and she is about to go back to his motherland. She is not going to stay hereafter. Okay, right. So, as a very irresponsible husband, he is telling she is not at home, right? And He pretending as a husband who has given his wife the total freedom to take whatever the decision she needs, right? Wherever she wants to go. It doesn't mean you give your wife the freedom. It shows how irresponsible you are. You are giving freedom, that means you know where she is going and you drop her to that particular place, right? And you bother about her because you haven't seen, you miss her in your surrounding. That's how a husband can be a very caring, loving, and supporting one. But here he shows his irresponsibility, right? Careless behaviors of him. Next one. Now what is happening now, I think in chapter 11, no, chapter 11, no, chapter 12. Yes, yeah, chapter 12. Chapter 12 is entirely they are talking about the relationship of Jagan and his wife. So Jagan is such a homely husband, such a loving, caring, to attach to the wife. So always he compare his own life story, own life as a husband with the others, right? If you are a good mother, if you take extra effort to take care of your child, then what will happen? Then what will happen when somebody take care of their children carelessly, or while they are pampering their children, they don't take much effort, they feel very different, right? Why these people are behaving like this? Life should not be in that way. That is the problem here Jagan is having, because Jagan is a husband who provides the total shelter, protection, support to his wife. Only the problem, he had lot of extremist qualities. That's how it was a bit hard to spend time with Jagan, right? But he was not a careless one like Mali. And Mali finally revealed that he is about to send his wife back home, right? Shows that how business oriented he is. He says that this relationship started not to continue the life, but to continue the business. If there is no business, what is there to continue, right? The girl was with me just because we want to start a business, right? She is my business partner come life partner. Right? She is my business partner come life partner. Normally we have life partner come business partner, right? So when the business is over, you continue your relationship. You start a business because you trust that person, you love that person, you can keep the complete faith on that person. That's why you choose that one to start a business, right? But when the business is no more, you don't ended up your relationship. But Mali did not start his relationship just because of that strong affections, love, or attraction. He was such a money-minded, business-minded, materialistic guy. It started from his father and son relationship as well. Okay, right. So now he had to wait for his chance to meet Grace. He knew by the sound of the duster in the front part of the house that she was back. But would she come as usual to his room and attend to things? No, it was over 10 days since she had come near him. She seemed to be avoiding him. He felt depressed at the thought. What had he done that she should avoid him? Had she shown all that consideration only in order that he might invest their story machine? This is the manipulation, right? This is the manipulative stage. This is where Jagan get disappointed because he understand earlier every time this girl was behind him, supporting, talking, listening to him. But now more than 10 days she is at home, but she didn't even see his face. Now he's thinking, right? මගේ ඔළුවට දෙනවා ළමයි හරියට. හරි. මේ මොනවද කිව්වේ මම? But I was telling, so earlier the attachment the girl showed towards Jagan is disappeared now. It's obviously fair to think him to think in that way. What he is thinking, this girl was behind me, showing his affection just because she wanted me to invest over the storytelling machine. When she got to know that I'm no more interested in that, she has cut off all the interference with me. Is that right? That's wrong, right? Having a relationship, having an attachment with somebody so that you can fulfill your requirements and you understand you no more they are beneficial for you, and you stop having any kind of interference communications with them. So that's really bad. So it's a kind of manipulations you do to others to fulfill your needs. Now that he had made his position clear, the barrier between him and the other two was growing more impregnable than ever. There was absolutely no way of his approaching her and asking for an explanation. He wondered if he could go in and talk to her, but what would be the use? With Mali there, how could he ask for her verification? It would be at best a formal greeting. Though he was ready to leave for his shop this morning, he sat on his cot vaguely, hoping that either Grace would come his way or that Mali would go out on one of his errands and he could have a word with her. But there was no sign of either happening. Mali went on typing in his room. After a while, the sound of sweeping ceased, and he could hear some exchange of words between the two. Then even that ceased, and he was left alone. A tremendous stillness reigned over the house. There seemed to be no hope. He quietly slipped out of the house and reached his shop, where life went on as usual, only the clamor at the counter destroying the peace of the afternoon. Of late, Jagan had been unable to concentrate on the Bhagavad Gita until the crowd has dispersed. They behaved as if they were entitled to their sweet, irrespective of whether there was a stock or not, which made Jagan wonder if he had been wise in reducing the price and whether he should not go back to the original rate. Right? So here now Jagan Mali confirmed that Grace is not going to stay in this house for more. Right? She is going to go back home. Now, even though he got that information, Jagan wants to confirm it with Grace. So he has been waiting for Grace to have a word with him. Like earlier, Grace didn't come this side. He thought once, is that okay if I go and talk to her? Then he realized, no, that's not good. If they don't like, why should we go behind them? And then he thought, now Mali is at home now. If Mali go out for any other outside work, he could have gone and talked to Grace. But unfortunately, he didn't leave the house. He had been doing some works in the house because he heard the sound of the typewriter. And he realized that it's useless of staying there for a long time, and he left for work. Inside the shop, he found such a huge crowd because they have reduced the prices super low. So when a shop reduce the price comparing to all the other shops in the market, then what will happen? They will get a huge crowd, right? Their customer base going to be increased. Now he's thinking, is that okay if I give these things for such a low price, or I should increase the prices. Because now what has happened? Now he has created the demand. There is a huge demand, right? When the demand is rises, when the demand is raised, what you can do? Silently you can increase the price back, because when people get used to that taste, and when they understand the quality of the product, they are not going to go back to another place. Right. The cousin had been absent for several days. He explained, I had to be always in the Tirupati hills with the Judge family. I had be away in the Tirupati hills with the Judge family. They had taken two of their grandchildren to the temple for their first shave. It was a grand trip. They had engaged 3 cottages and the whole temple was open to them. An influential man. They would not listen but I told them that I could not afford to keep away so long. They nearly abducted me. What the meaning of abducted? I told them I won't be able to come because staying away for a couple of days from this village is impossible because the entire village needs me. But what happened? They abducted me. It's like they forcefully put me into the vehicle and take me away. The cousin had been sorry. You know that Hindu people, they have a habit of shaving their children's head, right? They shave their children's head, collect those hair and put it into the river. They believe when they do so, all the sins get washed off, or some kind of beliefs they have. So they visit a well-known temple to have the first shave. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ ලංකාවේ අයත් යනවා තිරුපති. තිරුපති කියන මේ කෝවිලකට ගිහිල්ලා තිරුපති කෝවිල් එකේ මාමාගේ ඔඩොක්කුවේ තියලා තමයි දරුවගේ බූ ගාන්නේ. කොණ්ඩේ බූ ගාන්නේ. කොණ්ඩේ බූ ගාලා මේ මොනවද කරන්නේ? සන්දනම් ගානවා. සඳුන් In English, what we say? Sandun?
Sandalwood.
Sandalwood. Yes. Sandalwood එක ගානවා. මේ අපිත් කරා මමත් කරා අපේ පුතාට මේ බට් මේ මාමාගේ ඔඩොක්කුවේ එහෙම තියලා කරේ නෑ. තාත්තගේ ඔඩොක්කුවේ තියලා ගෙදර තියලා කෑවේ. right? එයාලා ඒකේ belief එක මොකද්ද දන්නේ නෑ. මම නම් කරේ මේ අර පොඩි කාලේ මෙයාට තිබුණා එන තත්ත කොණ්ඩයක්. So it's sweaty, right? Because of that reason I shaved it. But Hindu people, they do it as a habit, not as a habit actually, as a custom they follow it. It was a grand trip. You are wanted everywhere, said Jagat. I have wanted you very badly since yesterday. ඔයාව හැමෝටම ඕනනේ. මට ඔයාව ඊයේ ඉඳලා මාර විදියට ඕන වුණා. I'm at your service. Here I have come. Has the reduction in prices affect the quality of our sweets? Such a thing is unthinkable, I tell you. ඒ වගේ දෙයක් නම් හිතන්නවත් බෑනේ. Whether you have reduced the prices, I know you are not going to reduce the quality. It is unthinkable. Even can't think such things. Right? ඒ වගේ දෙයක් හිතන්නවත් බෑ. The Ananda Bhavan set was here. I know, said the cousin. They are talking about you all the time. What do they say? Jagan got suddenly interested in the market reactions. It seems you have agreed to resume your prices soon. I don't know. I don't think I have said any such thing, said Jagan. So they are telling this person has reduced the prices and he promised us to bring back their prices back to normal. That's what the other people are believing. ඔය වැඩි ගාන අඩු කරාට ටික දවසක් යනකොට තේරෙයි ඕක affordable නෑ කියලා. ආපහු දන්නේම නැතුව පරණ ප්‍රයිස් එකට ගෙනෙයි කියලා තමයි කට්ටිය විශ්වාස කරගෙන ඉන්නේ. එයාලා එතකොට ඒ තමන්ගේ විශ්වාසයට මොකද කරන්නේ? එයාලා කියනවා එයා කිව්ව අපිට අඩු කරනවා කියලා ටික දවසකින් ඕක අඩු කරනවා කියලා කිව්වා කියලා. He didn't mention anything, but they are assuming he would do in that way කියලා. ඒක තමයි කියන්නේ. The cousin said, at least that is what they think. Monkey wanted, at least that is what they think. That's what they believe, right? That is not the reality, but that's what they assume. It will do them good to stand in the line and see how you do things. I wouldn't be at all surprised if there are men in the crowd and buy the sweets cheap here and sell them at their own price in their shops. So what she's thinking, it's okay to buy things from you and go to their shops and sell at their price, because without any effort they can earn the money, they can reach their profit because he is giving the products for very less price, right? එතකොට අපි හිතමු දැන් මම බිත්තරයක් ගන්නවා 35යි. මිනු කිලා ගෙදර තියෙනවා බිත්තර කීයද? රුපියල් 15යි. මම ගිහිල්ලා බිත්තර 1000ක් විතර අරගෙන ඇවිල්ලා අපේ ගෙදර තියලා 35ට විකුණුවත් කමක් නැහැනේ නේ. Right? Without asking people to don't go and buy from the Tenuki, what I do, I go to her place, buy all the eggs she has, come back to my place and sell at my own price. So I can earn more money. Right? ඒ කියන්නේ තෙනුපි දෙන price එක ඇවිල්ලා හරීම ගාණ අඩු නිසා. It is very less price. Jagannath, have you seen Mali recently? ළඟදී මලිව හම්බුණාද? He was at the judge house last evening. His son is his friend. He called me aside. He is ever so fond of me as his uncle. Nothing changes him, right? Yesterday I met him when he was in the judge house and he talked to me. He never show any differences for me. Jagan sighed. Why does he not talk to me properly? He can't speak even 2 sentences without upsetting me. Because in pleased at the superior position he was enjoying, said rather patronizingly, don't let it upset you. You are a wise man and you must not think of these things too much. So the Jagan himself the cousin himself understand the importance Mali gives to his uncle is not given to his own father. ඒක තමයි කියන්නේ ඌව ගැන හිතන්න එපා. ඕක මෙච්චර හිතන්න දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. What did he tell you? He called me into the garden while his friend had gone in to wash and told me that Grace was going back to America soon. Did you hear that? Yes, but I did not understand why. The cousin said she's going on business. That's what he told me. Something to do with his machine. Who see how plucky these girls are. She goes thousands of miles to settle business matters, whilst we do not even understand what they are doing. Jagan did not correct him, but his knowledge of the facts to himself. Well, of course, She's okay. So yes, so yesterday, previous day evening, Mali met cousin. Cousin, he shared Gray's matter with cousin. But the same thing was discussed with his father the other day. Who received the information first? Father or cousin? Huh? Father or cousin? Cousin. So, but who has the more rights? Father. Who is doing the more involvement? Who is giving the more involvement? Father. Right? He called me. The cousin said she's going on business. That's what she told me. Something to do with his mashing. You see how plucky these girls are. She goes thousands of miles to settle the business matters while we don't even understand what they are doing. Plucky mean what? Nowadays, actually, this is the time when Narayan, R.K. Narayan had a thought about future girls. Nowadays, girls are like this, right? So they visit earlier when we want to buy. Still, I am in the same situation, right? If I want to buy a shawl, even I wait for my husband or son. But now, when a girl want to do shopping, she book a ticket and visit India or Dubai or Paris. Yes or no? Right? The world has changed, but we are in the same place still. Jagan did not correct him but kept his knowledge of the fact to himself. Well, of course, I had heard that, but I wanted to know if there was anything more. His business seems to be promising, said the cousin. The Ananda Bhavan said, and a few others have promised to buy shares in his company. Jagan asked his genuine wonder, how does he talk to them? He is all over the town and very active. I meet him here, there, and everywhere. I want your help, said Jagan. Don't laugh at me. I have to speak to Grace and find out few things for myself. He explained the situation in a roundabout way without letting the cousin know too much. Right? Now, what he is telling, cousin is telling the updated business situation of Malik. Jagan is a person who sit in his chair, take care of his business, but without doing any sort of marketing. If customers are visiting his place just because they believe the product quality, otherwise there is zero marketing, zero interaction with the outside people, zero attempt to bring that product to the society, to the market. But Mali is totally different. He has he has discussed his business matters, business ideas with lot of people, and people have show their show their willingness to support his business and be a partner of his business, because the way somebody speak can attract somebody's mind. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔය මේ කෝස් කන්ඩක්ටර්ස් ලයින් නේද කෝස් ප්‍රමෝට් කරන කෝඩිනේටර්ස් ලයින් ඒ කෝඩිනේටර්ස් ලයින් නිකන් කතා කරනකොට අපිට PhD එක අපිට හිතෙන්නේ මොනවද? Oh, diploma, degree, master, PGD or MPhil and PhD. Oh my God, now I'm a PhD holder. That's how that's how they manipulate the children, manipulate the student. So without thinking we pay their money. මොනවද දන්නවද කරන්නේ? ඕක pay කරලා ඉවර වෙනකම් ඔය මිනිස්සු ඉන්න දෙන්නෙම නැහැ. It's like you give a phone call to ask details about a program and they get your number, they have the records of yours and they keep calling. Why they keep calling? Because once you pay your admission, once you register to the particular course, you will get your commission. They are receiving their commission because of that reason. That's their job, man. That's their job to put to catch you, right? To catch you and put inside the net. So when they do their responsibility, they will receive their money. Okay. And he mentioned one thing. These things are okay. But what I need here, I want to talk to Grace and want to know about her latest update. හරි. ඔයාලා කාලද ඉන්නේ? මට විනාඩි 5ක් දෙනවද කාලය එන්නන්ටක් කාලා? මට බඩිකිනි හරියට. මිනුකි, තෙනුකි, you had your breakfast?
Yeah, ma'am.
මට විනාඩියක් දෙන්න. ඔළුවේ කැරකෙනවා මට විනාඩියක් මම රෙකෝඩින් එක ස්ටොප් කළා. මම විනාඩි දෙකෙන් එනවා. ටක් ගාලා ටුක් ගාලා කතර දෙකක් කාලා එන්න. So now Jagan wants to know what exactly going on with Grace. So he understands he can do that only talking to her. So that's why he needs cousin's support to have a discussion, have a meeting with Grace. The cousin knew that a lot of things were being hidden from him, but he did not mind. He said, I see Grace sometimes visiting Dr. Kuruvila's house. She has a friend there whom she knew in America. Shall I speak to her and say that you want to see her? Won't Mali be with her? Sometimes she spends her time with the girls in that house while Mali goes out with his friend. Jagan had to hold his soul in peace for the next 2 days while the cousin thought out ways of decoying Mali, leaving the line clear for Jagan to speak to Grace. One afternoon, he arrived on his usual testing duty. Wiping his mouth with his towel, he said, If you are prepared to leave the shop, you can meet Grace at home. Mali is waiting for me at the judge house. I have promised to go with him to look for a plot of ground on Hill Road. So now, cousin and Mali has a special plan. See, these things he should do with his father, no? But he is not taking any involvement from the father. He has asked cousin to go with him to see a piece of land, right? A land. And that time, definitely Grace is going to be at home alone. So it is informed by cousin to Jagan. Okay. What for? For building his factory. What rubbish! He's talking like a big financier. If he has the money for it, why does he ask me? So he didn't start the factory. So he is about to buy a land as well. So if he has that much of money, why he wants my sponsorship, right? Everyone in the town think of him as a big businessman. He talks well, right? So what we call that, don't judge a book by its cover කියලා කියනවා නේද? මිනිස්සු විශ්වාස කරනවා I think he has come back from America, right? He's the son of Jagan. And he like pompous nicely, no? What is the pompous? Pampers නෙමෙයි. Pompous පුරසාරන් දොඩවනවා. Right? He pompous really well. Because of that reason, people think he is as a huge business magnate. හරිද? Business icon එකක් කියලා හිතන් ඉන්නේ කට්ටිය. Yes, to everyone except me. That's true. He talks well with everybody except me. මාත් එක නැතුව අනිත් හැමෝටම හොඳට කතා කරනවා. Said Jagan resentfully. Go home. This is the right moment. Mali is going out of town and won't be back until evening. I'll stay here until you come back. There will be others to go with Mali. Jagan went home, washed himself, went to the puja room, stood before the god and prayed, Please help me, enlighten me. I don't know what to do. Highlight it. So now, Jagan is in a confusive manner, confusive thought, and he thinks, what should I do? I don't know what exactly I have to do. Right? Now he needs the support from the god, because when somebody is too lost, when somebody is too lost, when somebody has no idea of what should be the next move, then what they are doing, they are seeking the god's help as the final solution. They beg the god's support. So that's what he is doing. He is asking the enlightenment. Give me the wisdom, give me the knowledge, give me the support to find the solution. Have you seen these colors of markers? ලස්සන color එකක් නේද? Markers නෙමෙයි highlighters. Purple. පොඩි ළමයි වගේනේ. හරි. He stood in meditation for a second. Then Rain's phone is a spirit knocked on the middle door in the hall. It was unusual for him to come home at this hour. The place looked strangely different, with the afternoon sun coming in at odd corners through the open court. This looks like somebody else's home, he reflected. Why is that? For us, we have seen our house in the morning, during the daytime, evening, nighttime, because for us, we are not to stick to the schedules, right? එක දවසක 8ට වැඩට යනවා, අනිත් දවසේ 9ට වැඩට යනවා, අනිත් දවසේ 10ට වැඩට යනවා, අනිත් දවසේ 7:00ටත් වැඩට යනවා. So for us, visiting a place in different time frames are not that odd. But for him, Jagan is a person, he has followed this routine life for years, for decades. Today he came home earlier. කවදාවත් වේලාසනින් අද ඇඟට චුට්ටක් මහන්සිය ගෙදරට නීලා නිදාගමු කියලා නිදාගන්න මිනිස්සෙක් නෙමෙයිනේ. Right? So today only he has come earlier to the house. Now he see the house in a different time frame. For him, it's like he has visited some others' houses. නිකම් මේ වෙන මිනිස්සෙක් ගෙදරට ගිහලා යයි මේ වෙලාවට ගෙදරට ඇවිල්ලා මේ වෙලාවට අවු වටනහම එක එක වෙලාවට ගෙදර එක එක විදිහයි නේද? Morning house is different, daytime, evening time, night time, total different circumstances. So for him, this is something very new.
It means, madam, this is the first time Jagan has come to his home in the daytime.
Daytime, earlier. This is the first time he has stayed away from his routine life. Right? He come back home when he is the last person who leave his shop. Right? When cooks and all leave the shop, finally he come out. And it confirmed his recent feelings that he was no longer his old self. He recollected the bearded man's advices during their rambles. At first, don't hurry, but when you decide, be swift and positive. Don't be hurried to take a decision, but once you take a decision, be very strong on that, right? Be very strong on that and move really fast. දැන් එක තීරණයක් ගන්න එපා, හදිසි තීරණ ගන්න එපා. හැබැයි තීරණයක් ගත්තද ඒ තීරණය ආය වෙනස් කරන්න එපා. වැනි ඉන්න එපා. ඒ තීරණය ටක් ගාලා ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න කියලා කවුද කියන්නේ? bearded man. හරිද? හරි කියන්නේ. That was more or less what he had learned from Gandhi, but the lesson seemed to have worn out. He remembered how, as a volunteer over 20 years ago, he had rushed into the British collector's bungalow and climbed the roof in order to bring down the Union Jack and plant the Indian flag in its place. So when Europeans enter the India, they have taken Indian flag, they have put down the Indian flag and erect theirs. Then what he has done, මොනවද කරන්නේ? වහලෙන් නැගලා ගිහිල්ලා යුරෝපියන් කොඩිය කඩලා දාලා එයාගේ කොඩිය ශ්‍රී ලංකන් කොඩිය එතන ආපහු ස්ථාපනය කරලා යන්නේ. Helmeted police were standing guard in the compound, but the speed of his action completely took them by surprise and they had to clamber after him to the roof. අපේත් හිටියා නේද හාමුදුරු කෙනෙක් මේ සුද්දන්ගේ කොඩිය කඩලා දාලා පාගලා අපේ කොඩිය බෞද්ධ කොඩිය උස්සපු හාමුදුරු කෙනෙක් හිටියා. මට නම මතක නැහැ. You remember? What's his name? Huh? But not this.
Paranavithana.
කවුද?
Paranavithana.
නෑ. හාමුදුරු කෙනෙක්. සෙනරත් පරණවිතාන එයා ඇවිල්ලා පුරා විද්‍යාඥයන්. I am talking about a monk. But not before Sri Sumangala Himi. Tenuki? I can't remember.
Hikkaduwe Sri Sumangala Himi.
මොකද පුතේ?
Hikkaduwe Sri Sumangala Himi.
Hikkaduwe Sri Sumangala Himi. අන්න හරි. Helmeted police were standing guard in the compound, but the speed of his action completely took them by surprise and they had to clamber after him to the roof, but not before he had seized the Union Jack in a crocodile grip and hugged the flag post while attempting to plant his own flag, right? When the man was so quick of his decision, what he did, he quickly jumped, quickly climbed the roof, removed the jack and planted his own flag. They had to beat him and crack open his skull in order to make him let go his hold. ගහලා ඔළුව පළල තමයි අර කොඩියෙන් අත් දෙක ඇතෑරෙව්වේ. He opened his eyes 15 days later in the hospital and lay forgotten in a prison afterwards. දවස් 15කට පස්සේ තමයි සිහිය නැති වෙලා hospital එකේ ඇස් දෙක ඇරියේ. And lay forgotten in prison afterwards. There are times when Satyagrahi has to act first and think afterwards. Satyagrahi means the people who works towards the country. රට වෙනුවෙන් සටන් කරනකොට ආයව දෙක දෙපාරක් හිත ඉන්න බෑ ඉස්ලාම කරලා ඊට පස්සේ තමයි හිතන්න වෙන්නේ. His leaders has advised once a Satyagrahi, always a Satyagrahi. If one was not acting for truth against the British, one was acting for truth in some other matter. In personal affairs, in all sort of things, his training was always there, but somehow had dimmed inexplicably. With these reflections, he reinforced his ego before venturing to knock on the door of Mali's apartment. Grace opened the door and exclaimed, "Father, you are here at this hour? How unusual! තාත්තවා මේ වෙලාවේ? හරි පුදුමයි. හරි වෙනස්නේ." Jagan went straight to the point. "I have to talk to you. Will you come here or should I go in there?" "Please come in. Come to the hall. The chairs there are comfortable." He followed her and took his seat on the sofa. She sat in her chair. The one finger twirling a chain around her neck. She had a book open on a side table. She was wearing yellow kimono and looked very much like a Japanese. She looks different each day, he thought, and then suppressing his impulse to ask, "Are you sure you are not a Japanese today?" said aloud. "What are you reading?" "Nothing very important," as she mentioned some title. "Go straight to the point," he told himself. "You have beaten about the bush and practically lost contact with your son. Don't lose your daughter-in-law too." His first question was, "I don't see you in my house nowadays. Why?" He thought like, I have to ask some question from my daughter-in-law. I have made a mistake regarding my son because I could not keep a very open communication with him. I don't want to do the same thing with my daughter-in-law and all. So he is directly asking, I don't see you in my house nowadays. Why? මේ දවස්වල අයිච්චර ගෙදර පේන්නේ නැහැ. She went red in the face. Her lips twitched and she remained silent. She understood that she could not hide her pain. Observing his discomfiture, he said, Don't bother to answer my question. He felt her a little time to recover. She left her a little time to recover her composure, then asked, Do you wish to go back to your country? Once again, her lips twitched, her face went red, and she cast her longish eyes down and remained silent. A crow cawed, perched on the tiles of the open courtyard. Its raucous note broke the awful silence. She muttered, Ah, that crow has come. Excuse me. She buzzed out, went to her kitchen, came out with a piece of bread in her hand, and tossed it onto the roof. The crow picked it up and was off. Presently, more crows came and sat on the roof and cawed. This is the worst of it. They are clamor, but I don't really have enough for all of them. She said. Jagan could not help saying, The same thing is happening to me in my shop. The whole town clamors for my sweets, but really the sales are closed before 4 in the afternoon. ඒක තනිකරම හයිඩ් මේ symbolize කරන්නේ යාගේ shop එකේ situation එක. When something is given for free, you will receive a lot of people who really wants them. But when you fix a price and you demand your rights, then you will see only a few around you. නේද? නිකන් දෙනවා නම් ඕන එක්කෙනෙක් අරන් ගන්න යන්න ඕන එක්කෙනෙක් එයි. හැබැයි ඔයාලා එතන ඔයාලගේ rights උත් ඉල්ලලා ඔයාලා fight කරනවා නම් කවුරුවත් එන්නේ නැතුව යයි. She received this in silence. Jagan felt nervous. All the resolution he had made vanished without a trace. He was scared of Grace. He felt she might break down if he asked any more questions. He sensed a deep-seated disturbance in her and became anxious to leave her alone. Whatever the mystery might be, when a clock struck 4, he got up saying with extraordinary clarity, I must be back at the shop. දැන් ඉතින් 4යි 4ට මම දැන් shop එකට යන්න ඕනි. She walked to the door with him silently. When he was about to pass out, she said a matter-of-fact way that Father Moore wants me to go back. More mean what? More mean Mali wants me to go back. Why? Jagan asked Kavati. She hesitated. Jagan feared she might cry, but she said very calmly, it's all over, that's all. එයාලා කියනවා මොනවාද? She's telling that Mali don't want me to be here anymore. What's over? She didn't answer. He asked, is it his idea or yours? He repeated, he wants me to go back. He says he can't afford to keep me here anymore. This new face of Mali now revealed were startling, and the Jagan found himself tongue-tied. She went on, I used to work. I had $2,000 when I came here. All that's gone. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙච්චර කාලයක් මෙච්චර දවසක් මේ මෙයා නටලා තියෙන කාගේ සල්ලි වලින්ද? අනේ පව්වර ගෑනු කෙනාගේ සල්ලි වලින්. $2,000 when she came to India, she has come with $2,000. ඔය $2,000 එක තියලා තමයි මෙයා මේ නටලා තියෙන්නේ. How? She merely said, Mo has no more use for me. ඒ කියන්නේ සම්පූර්ණ සල්ලි ටික වියදම් කරලා තියෙන්නේ මලි. දැන් ඉතින් මලිට මෙයා ගාව සල්ලිත් නැහැ. කිසි වැඩකුත් නැති නිසා ආපහු යවනවා. Use? Oh, no use. My wife, well, you know, I look after her all her life. Use? Oh, no use. ප්‍රයෝජනයක් තියනවද නැද්ද? මගේ නෝනට අසනීප වෙලා, but I took care of her. He found some portion of her talk obscure but could not ask explicitity or explanation. He said, if you read our Puranas, you will find the wife's place is beside her husband's, whatever may happen. Hello, මම ක්ලාස් එකක ඉන්නේ. මම විනාඩි 10කින් ගන්නම්. Hari. So what Purana says, what our old, then you keep the camera switch on.
I'm having a small signal. I'll quickly make
okay.
sure it.
Okay. Right? So according to the Indian culture has given a wife a huge place, a respectable place. But we are not married, Grace said simply. He promised he's married me in the Indian way because I liked it and brought me here. And the marriage didn't take place after coming here. Then තමයි කියන්නේ මොනවාද? මම එයාගේ නෝනා නෙමෙයි. We are not legally married. Wouldn't you have known it if it had, she said. ඔයා දන්නේ නැද්ද අපි කසාද බැඳලා නැහැ කියලා? It was too much to swallow and digest at one sitting. Jagan wailed. I don't know what to make of it all. Will you come back for a while and take a seat? I'll explain. I feel awkward standing here. ඔයාට කැවිලා ඉඳ ගන්නවද මම මේ ටික කියන්න? He stood looking at the girl. She looked so good and virtuous. He had relied on her so much, and yet here she was living in sin and talking casually about it all. What breed of creatures are these? He wondered. Right? They had tainted his ancient home. මේ ගෙදර අපවිත්‍ර කරලා කසාද බැඳලා නැහැ, කිසිම චාරිත්‍රයක් නැතුව එකට ජීවත් වෙනවා. He had borne much from him. He said coldly, now I'm not coming in. No, I'm not coming in now. Let me go back to the shop. So I don't want to come to that house, and the house is tainted. When the cousin came at 4:30 p.m., Jagan shouted, come here, I'm waiting for you. The cousin held up his arm as much as to say, wait till I finish my savoring duties. While he was in the kitchen, Jagan order cooled. He had mentally rehearsed a speech beginning, do you know? But actually, when the cousin emerged from the kitchen, he asked, how well do you know Mali? කොච්චර හොඳට මලිව දන්නවද? The cousin spent a little time gazing at the tailor across the road, pedaling his swing machine, which, as Jagan knew, was a sign that the cousin was in deep thought. He shook him out of it by saying, Mali is not married. මන් දන්නවා මලී කසාද බැඳලා නැහැ. The cousin, suppressing many questions that arose in his mind, wondered if he was expected to attempt some new matchmaking for Mali and began. Of course, if he gave the word, people are ready to snatch his horoscope. Even the judge was mentioning that he had a brother's niece-in-law who was anxious for a match with your family. මලී කසාද බැඳලා නැහැ කියලා රටේ මිනිස්සු දන්නවනම් ඔන්න හඳහන අරගෙන එයි. අර ජජ්ගේ ජජ්ම බලාගෙන ඉන්න ඔයාගේ කාටද? නීස් කෙනෙකුට ඔයාගේ පවුලෙන් කාවරි කසාද බඳලා දෙන්න. Jagan felt slightly elevated by this news, but suddenly remembered that he was not fated to live an ordinary peaceful life. Captain, those school children, the captain, not knowing whether he was expected to shoo them off or give them gifts, cried back, "What shall I do with them, sir? Send them away. If you show some consideration once, they expect it forever and ever. Our children have no self-respect." ඔය ළමයිට එකපාරක් දුන්නොත් දවස ගානෙම කිසිම self-respect එකක් නෑ අපේ රටේ ළමයිට. I know you want to reduce the price of all stuff further, but cannot, said the cousin. No sense in upsetting the social balance. I don't wish to make enemies of that Ananda Bhavan, said or the other. There are all sort of persons at their back. The cousin agreed in order to dispose of the question then and there, and let the other go on with the more interesting subject of Mali. He edged him on. Did you meet the girl today? Why do you say the girl instead of Mali's wife? Jagan asked with a certain amount of vicious pleasure, because now Jagan is not telling Mali's wife. He is asking, where is that girl? Before he could finish his sentence, Jagan said, I am not doubting her goodness, but she is not married to Mali at all. The cousin received the statement in silence, fearing that anything he said might smack of scandal. Jagan went on. She told me so herself. Why should I doubt her? The cousin said simply. Then why not let her go back to her country as Mali wants? This sounded such a rational approach to the crisis that Jagan had nothing further to say for a long while. It was very difficult to recollect that he had meant to say or refresh his memory with the righteous indignation he had felt. The cousin added, our young men live in a different world from ours, and we must not let ourselves be upset too much by certain things they do. අපේ younger generation එක, our younger generations, they have different types of living style. So we should not mess ourselves just because of their behaviors, their living style. This sounded sage-like statement, but Jagan could not accept the theory of indifference which the cousin, still not knowing the exact fact, was deploying. Jagan said, this sort of things is unheard of in our family. Even my grandfather's brother, who was known to be immoral, never did this sort of things. When he was not married, he never claimed that he was married old. Right? So my grandfather's brother, in our family, we had very good quality people, right? When somebody is not married, for a joke or to get the societal reputation, even they didn't like. I have heard my father speak about him. He was certainly married to 3 wives and had numerous other women. He never shirked the responsibility. They were deriving viscerous pleasure from going into detail of literally practiced by their forefathers. Woman, he never, okay. I can't understand how 2 young persons can live together like this without being married, said Jagan, and fell silent, letting his mind revel in senseless imaginings of what had gone on within the walls of his house. I feel my home is tainted now. I find it difficult to go back there. So දන්නවනේ නේද Indian culture එක විදිහට unmarried couple එකක් එක ගෙදරක ජීවත් වෙන එක accept කරන්නම බැරි දෙයක්. But European country එක හරිම common දෙයක්. දැන් ශ්‍රී ලංකන් culture එකෙත් අපේ තියෙනවා නේද මේ living together culture එක introduce කරලානේ තියෙන්නේ. So for us also ඒක නිකන් ලොකු දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. But Indian very typical family, it's a huge thing. ලොකු දෙයක් යාලට. The cousin said, you have heard only one side of the story. Why not speak to Mali and find out the other? He has already told me he wants her to go. එයාත් මට කිව්වා එයාව යවන්න ඕනි කියලා, right? This is not the one side story. This is a both side story. It is because his business is not developing, said the cousin. What business? Cried Jagan so emphatically that the cook carrying a tray to the front stall stood arrested and nearly dropped it from his hand. At which Jagan glared at him and said, you get on with your business. I am not speaking to you, he added a whisper. These boys are not what they used to be. They are becoming awfully inquisitive. I am sure he knows all about this affair. The cousin now brought the matter down to a practical level as he always did. Why do you let this affect you so much? It is, after all, their business. Hey, wow, again, that is not your problem, right? That is their problem. So you don't want to involve to that their affairs. The cousin now brought the matter down to, okay, but I feel it is my home that is being dirtied. Mali is my son. Grace is not my daughter-in-law. Oh, that is very wrong. Selfish view to take, said the cousin, feeling his way now and getting the measure of Jagan's mental need. His role was to help Jagan crystallize his attitude in a crisis. He added, what is crystallize his crystallize his attitudes in a crisis? He added, what is all your study of the Gita worth if you cannot keep your mind untouched by all this? You yourself have explained to me that one should not identify oneself with objects or circumstances. බලන්න නේද සමාජය එහෙමයි. When a boy and a girl do a wrong thing, entire society calls the girl, not the boy. Right? The girl is the misbehavior, the girl is the wrong one, the girl has tainted the house, not the boy. Boy his son and the girl is not his daughter-in-law just because they are not married. That's wrong. Jagan accepted this complaint with great pleasure, although if he had questioned it, he might not have been able to find out exactly what he had said, or why, or when obliged to admit his devotion to the Gita and the wisdom deprived from it. And he humbled. We are blinded by our attachment. Every attachment creates a delusion and we are carried away by it. एक पुत्ते highlight करा. We are blinded by our attachment. Every attachment creates a delusion and we are carried away by it. Too true, said the cousin. Equanimity is more important than anything else in life. That is what I am seeking but never attain. Jagan wailed and questioned his thoughts for a moment. Suddenly he remembered that he had been fooled by young people and that the house which had remained unsullied for generations had this new taint to carry. අවුරුදු ගාණක් පසුද්ද පවිත්‍රව තිබිච්ච හවුස් ගෙදර මේ මිනිස්සු දෙන්න නිසා අපවිත්‍ර වුණා. How could he live in the same house with them? He was on the point of saying, I have half a mind to tell them to go where they please and do what they like, but not in my house. But he checked himself. It was a statement that his tongue refused to phrase. මට කියන්න හිතුණා මේ ඕන තරක ගිහලා ඕන විකාරයක් නටා ගන්නවා මගේ ගේ නාස්ති කරන්නේ නැතුව, but he had no courage to say so. How do you expect me to go on living there? How can I go and be with them? If you have the back door entrance, use it and don't go near their portion. Where else could they go now? ඔයාට එහෙම ඉන්න බැරි නම් ඔයා ඔයාගේ පැත්තට ඉන්න, යාගේ පැත්තට පතරටවත් යන්න එපා. That is true. Housing conditions being what they are. Moreover, people will talk, he begged. Please don't let anyone know. The cousin threw up his arms in horror. Unthinkable. What do you say to me? Sacred trust. Believe me. Assured by Indipute. Last part එකෙන් ගේනවනේ. හරි. Assured by this protestation, Jagan said, wait, what shall I do now? About what? දැන් මම මොනවද කරන්නේ? කවුරු ගැනද? About Mali and that girl. The cousin gave a clear-headed statement. Get through their marriage very quickly in the hill temple. It can be arranged within a few hours. හරි, temple එකට ගිහිල්ලා දෙන්නයි කසාදේ කරන්න ඉවරයි. Alas, I don't know what her caste is, so how can I? Oh, she can be converted. I know some persons who will do it. එයාට ඕනනම් convert වෙන්න පුළුවන්. A burden was removed from his shoulders. Jagan said, you are my savior. I don't know where I should be without you. Highlight කරන්නකෝ. Highlight කරන්න.
Madam, what do you mean by savior?
The savior protector. You protect me from all the unwanted problems. ඔයා මගේ ගැලවුම් කාර්යය. நீங்க தான் என்னோட காவலன். Right? You protect me from all those problems. ඕකේ රයිට් ඔන්න ඒකත් එක්කලා chapter 10 එක ඉවරයි අපි හෙටයි අනිද්දාටයි නෑ Monday Tuesday Wednesday දවස් තුනේ එහෙම නැත්නම් මට ඔයාලට හෙට රැට බෑ කිව්වා නේද එනකි බෑ කිව්වා so අපි ආයේ Monday 10 o'clock වලට පටන් ගමු හරිද ඕකේ දවස් තුනෙන් ඉවර කරලා දාන්න පුළුවන් 11 12 13 12 බෑ 12ට දවස් දෙකක් ඕනේ 12 එක ලොකු chapter එකක් ඒකට දවස් දෙකක් ඕනේ එතකොට ලැබෙන සතියෙන් මම ඉවර කරලා දෙනවා ඔයාලට පුතේ කවදද එක්සෑම් එක February
17th.
17 මම ජැනුවරි වෙනකොට සම්පූර්ණ ඉවර කරනවා